In a major development in the Gaza War, Hamas has announced that it has accepted the latest ceasefire proposal, mediated by Qatar and Egypt, raising cautious hopes of at least a temporary pause in the bloodshed. According to a statement released on Monday, Hamas, along with other Palestinian factions, conveyed to mediators in Doha and Cairo that they have agreed to the terms laid out in the new plan, which includes a 60-day suspension of Israeli military operations and the relocation of troops to allow entry of desperately needed humanitarian aid. During this 2-month pause, half of the 50 Israeli hostages still held in Gaza are expected to be exchanged for Palestinian prisoners. Sources told Al Jazeera that the proposal represents what they call the beginning of the path to a comprehensive solution. The announcement followed talks in Cairo between Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Both leaders reaffirmed their commitment to maximum pressure on both sides to secure a deal as soon as possible. But history suggests caution. For the past 2 years, Hamas has agreed to ceasefire proposals, only for Israel to reject them and insist on continuing its war. At the heart of the deadlock remains a fundamental disagreement. Hamas demands a permanent end to the conflict, while Israel seeks only a temporary truce. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he had spoken with his defense minister and military chiefs about the next phase of operations in Gaza City. Netanyahu claimed, quote, "Hamas is under atomic pressure," signaling that Israel is determined to advance its military campaign. Defense Minister Israel Katz echoed this, saying Hamas is negotiating only because it fears Israel is serious about conquering Gaza City. Meanwhile, far-right ministers such as Bezalel Smotrich outright rejected any ceasefire deal, insisting Israel must not grant Hamas what they called a lifeline. However, Israeli officials privately admit the army is stretched thin, lacking sufficient combat soldiers to carry out a full-scale operation. Repeated conscription calls within Israel and even abroad underline the pressure the military is facing. Meanwhile, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza worsens by the day. More than 62,000 Palestinians have been killed, hundreds of thousands displaced, and aid agencies warn of famine as Israel's blockade continues to starve the enclave. Amnesty International has accused Israel of deliberately using starvation as a weapon of war. Egypt and Qatar's mediators insist the current situation is beyond imagination, with over 2 million people facing man-made starvation. But critics warn that without genuine political will, especially from Israel, this truce may only delay further destruction. According to the UN Rights Office, Israel is not letting enough supplies into Gaza to prevent starvation.
Of starvation is everywhere in Gaza. This is a direct result of the Israeli government's policy of blocking humanitarian aid. In the past few weeks, Israeli authorities have only allowed aid to enter in quantities that remain far below what would be required to avert widespread starvation. Reaching the meager supplies available can be a deadly pursuit. Since the 27th of May and up until the 17th of August, we have documented that 1,857 Palestinians were killed while seeking food, including 1,021 killed in the vicinity of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation sites and 836 killed on the routes of supply trucks. Most of these killings appear to have been committed by the Israeli military. Thank you.